Hey guys, welcome to this YouTube blog. I'm here with Dr. David Jubb. Hardest guy to pin down and get. You are, what was called, I was being told you're very organic. You move around. So I managed to get you in the film, which is good. So I have a lot of viewers on YouTube that are doing the urine therapy thing, and you know the inside out of urine therapy. There's a lot of debate going on that people say it's toxic, it'll kill you if you drink too much, all these sort of things. I mean, let's just get rid of some of the myths and belief system there. So is urine dirty?
No, it's hygienic, and most would need an anatomy lesson, wouldn't they? Because if I asked you, as you're listening right now, viewing our show, what is the chief organ of digestion, it certainly is not the digestive tract itself, which performs a secondary role, but the primary role of digestion is covered by the lungs, because our blood is more a gaseous element in a liquid state. Things are combined more by the intestinal tract. Could we agree that the liver is to some degree an organ of detoxification, though it performs other functions as well? But our lungs are a primary organ of detoxification, followed by our skin and excretory tissue, and then the liver, of course, is excreting toxin and putting that into the bowel, and that's being swept out. The kidneys are filtering all essential element in any one moment and managing that so to keep it in balance, basically. So
lungs, liver, different areas. Kidneys, is it the last sort of, or is it all sort of?
Kidneys are the most vascular organ of our whole body, and our good kidney function causes us to have regulation of our blood pressure and things. It causes you to sort of sharpen up your mind a little all of a sudden, with norepinephrine, epinephrine being released by the little saddles, adrenals that sit above the kidneys. And
so its role is throwing out excess that's in the blood system.
It's managing and regulating.
Yeah. So all that excess is in your body's liquid, your urine. So by digesting it, what does it do? Does it change by redigesting, or how does it work?
Okay, so let's just imagine for a moment that something has been chelated. That which has done the chelation is very useful. What's been chelated is no longer much of any use. That piece is going to be swept out in the intestinal tract, and what the useful component is can be reabsorbed. So you're tapping into an ability to recycle, and you can understand the benefit of recycling.
Absolutely.
And for our people viewing the program, they should know that if you'd be drinking your urine for 2 years, you become the best in your field. That's just going to be automatically given to you. If you've done it for 5 years, well, that's going to be automatic genius. Just don't have to do anything else. It's just being handed to you. Automatic genius. Drink your urine for 7 years and automatic sainthood.
There you go.
But
what
it's
does
hygienic.
it do so I mean it's non-toxic, but there is toxins in urine.
Little to be not anything comparatively in relation to what is there in the bile and being swept out into the intestinal tract.
It's antifungal.
Yes.
Antispasmodic.
Yes.
Antibacterial.
Yes.
Anti-cancerous.
Yes.
A lot of antis going on here.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, how many more? So obviously your body's not having to spend as much energy reproducing these enzymes. And
this substance is the precious substance which is within blood. Can blood go to the furthest reaches? Because when you bring it in this way, it does. So you're bringing precious element in to areas of your body where blood cannot so quite reach. You're cleansing and healing these areas, and studies show that. And urine therapy is probably one of the oldest, longest lived forms of medicine still around.
So if you're putting it back in and it is moving it to those areas that aren't always reached through the normal blood system. I mean, we're only talking one system, that's digestion. So if we're using it topical, you're going to work from the outside in as
Correct.
well.
Absolutely.
And they say, what, aged urine is better for that? Or is there a difference?
Yes. Over time, that urine that's aging is fermenting, and that's becoming better and better and better and better and better, becoming more potent and toxic. And assisting to help have the antitoxin to clear away toxic conditions of the body. Make a signature more perfectly of the condition that's within. And as urine is rested, it's crystallizing, you're keeping it quiet and rested, and it's maturing more in itself. So that's a urine which you might only need a teaspoon of in relation to having consumed
so you can drink aged urine, but mix it with what, water? Or
you could have a teaspoon of it.
A teaspoon,
I've had plenty of people
that's quite hard to do, I think.
Who could keep something labelled, of course, in the fridge.
Or what's the old? How long can you age it for? Is it like a bottle of wine where you can have it?
It can be aged all the way down to its crystal form.
But there is also a danger of keeping if it has mold on it.
Oh no, not really. No. It's all very quite useful.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
it is.
Use it for soaking of.
Well, you have Acidophilus, Bifidobacterium, and Casey, L. silivera, Zolplanaterium. You have organisms, which are actual organisms that implant.
So it's still living in a sense.
It sure is. It's got enzymes, vitamins, minerals, trace elements, essential fatty acids, amino acids, hormones. Antioxidants.
And also, I mean, and obviously, depending when you're urinating, like if you're urinating early morning, you're going to have melatonin. So that's going to relax you a bit more, make you. What's the purpose of natural melatonin versus the bottled stuff?
Well, studies can quite clearly show that your melatonin level directly relates to your youth.
Okay, I'm young. And we lose melatonin as we get older, correct?
We sure do.
So what's
it's
the
supposed
ratio
to be being produced by the pineal gland.
Okay. So when do we start losing melatonin production? At what age?
Well, certainly our prime, for the most part, could be occurred for most people in their life in their teens.
Oh, wow.
And so after that point, the body's, other than necessarily keeping itself in good stead as it could.
So by putting it back in,
absolutely,
you're prolonging things?
You are, absolutely. Quite possibly you could lengthen your life, that by itself, by everything else being equal, perhaps 11 years or more.
So it's a pretty important substance.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. And then what about serotonin in urine? I mean,
you've got everything present, but what's so great and useful about urine therapy and serotonin production is that you've got kupffer cells which line the passageway of your intestinal tract, which produce a substance which is the precursor substance to make serotonin. It's called a hydroxytryptophan. Hydroxytryptophan is produced by these enterochromaffin cells which line the passageway, and for the most part where tannins are in excess, where foodstuffs can have not allowed it to function quite properly, is serotonin really being produced in the brain of the gut? Not really, not like it could be. But do a bit of urine therapy, might be a bit surprised all of a sudden that something which ordinarily might be a bit perturbing to you, you feel, you're at one, you're more not perturbed by stuff which is extraneous.
So for all those naysayers, write all that down. It's a lot to take in. I get a lot of backlash from some of my videos, and some people are all for it. a lot of this information is out there. I mean, you've studied it, but it's all hidden. Why? I mean, this is a pretty brave move for you to talk about it openly.
Oh, well.
Would you be criticised for that if you were still in that industry? I mean, they all talk about it. They know it's in beauty products, it's in all sorts of things, but, to actually voice that?
I can only see from all the years that I've been voicing this that it's absolutely grown like wildfire. So I think that we more are a bit like monkeys that are self-medicating.
Yeah.
We have a good effect, and so because of it we continue on. But it's right that something which is not necessarily in conservatism or in traditional insight, but those things which we're just talking about there could be just a collective agreement, and it's an approximation of science, but it's only a collective agreement for a moment, but could always something come along which is new, which can change our collective agreement. This is one of them. This is definitely a major paradigm shift.
I am growing it.
I could just really care very much about what truth is, because I can see people very hungry to hear more the truth, and to have those that could communicate things which are not having unnecessary fear, to broach or bridge a topic which could not necessarily be so popular.
Well, what makes things taboo is not talked about. And if you talk about it more, it won't be taboo anymore.
Right.
The more it becomes common and more known about, the tabooness disappears.
Yeah, but the question is, could this be known more about? But that when investigations are done to show this, it's got to get a sort of coverage, maybe on the 11th page of the New York Times. It's got to be a bit small print.
So it's time to wake up, drink up, enjoy. Thanks for watching, guys.